Hi, I'm SimmerRue and welcome to my channel. So in today's video we are here in Del Sol Valley. I love this place and we are going to build a family home. Today I'm here in Del Sol Valley. I have recently been quite obsessed with this world, this and Strangerville. They are my two favorite worlds and I just want to get them beautiful again. You know, they've been done so dirty. Now, this house that I'm building is based off of like a lower middle class single story LA home. I just did some Google references and then I kind of just winged it. So you're gonna see me play around a lot with certain areas. I knew that I wanted 3 bedrooms, I wanted 2 bathrooms, and I wanted a living space and like a kitchen. The kitchen kind of to be closed off. In the end, I did close off the kitchen completely, but we're still on the exterior of this build. Now, at the back, I wanted a large patio. I do make this smaller though, because when I started decorating it, it did turn out to be a little bit too big, and that just wasn't the vibe. Now, at this point, I was like, okay, before I do my roofing completely, let's first figure out a floor plan, because it started to look a little bit small. So you can see that I have to extend a bit. I wanted the fence to be on both sides, like 2 blocks in, but yeah, that didn't work. So I completely changed that. Now, I am happy with the floor plan. At this stage, before there's like windows and decoration and all of that, it looks ridiculous. Especially from the outside, kind of the shape. But this is a trust the process kind of house. I feel like this house turns out to be quite realistic, especially for the type of era that I'm going for. So you'll see that I use a lot of rounded archways. I kind of wish that we had pillars that connected with like rounded archways, but unfortunately not. So I just had to use the normal inbuilt archways. And I wanted the place to feel closed off but open at the same time. Now, here the house is starting to get shape. The garages that I use, they are actually like spray paintable from City Living, but they match the other garages around the world, so I really like that and I wanted to use it. I felt like it would just make this place blend a little bit better. Hopefully your Sims doesn't go around and just spray paints like everything. I do put graffiti on the side of the house, but I'll show you that later. Now, here I'm trying to just figure out, okay, what color scheme am I going for? At this point, I wanted to go for just this light brown, but once I start painting, I realize, okay, that is not really gonna work. So I haven't used these sliding doors in years, and I kind of wanted to have a very large space in that hallway that can kind of open. So I just placed 2 of them together and then I just added our windows. So here you can see, because I decided to paint this house like this weird brownish yellowy color, the windows and things just blended a little bit too much. So I went with a white frame and then with the same color on the inside with the panels. Luckily the windows that I chose had that option. That's I just felt very blessed at that point. I was like, yay. Because we all know how The Sims is when it comes to like swatches. So because I had the white frames, I was like, okay, let's do some white accents with the pillars and things. And I think that really just breaks everything apart. And it's kind of what it needed to just get away from that mundaneness. Now this metal roof that I give them, I kind of make it a little bit rusty, and I love it. Like I said, this is like, I feel like the Sims that live here, they don't necessarily struggle, but they also don't have like all the money to just throw around. Even though this house does end up to be quite expensive, but it's all the clutter. clutter in this game is really expensive, and I feel like clutter should be for free, because I've mentioned this before. People have clutter all around their homes, and yeah, it's just insane. Now, here I'm adding the gutters, and once I place the gutters, this house just looked so familiar to me. Like, I have seen so many homes where I grew up that just looked like this place, and I really like the gutters. I feel like the gutters it just adds that little bit of an extra something that this place needed. I also put like pavement all around the house, because you wouldn't want the water to go straight into the grass and into the sand. Like, your foundation is going to be broken. Your house will not survive. Now, obviously that doesn't really make it, like, who cares? It's The Sims, but I care. I care for my game. Now I'm going around and I'm doing my terrain paint. I just wanted to lay it out so far. I don't really do my gardening yet. I tend to do that last in my builds. I don't really have a reason for that, but I do want my terrain paint to be laid out. I want to be organized in that sense. So I leave a little gap open there just so that you can get onto this front grass area. Once I get to the actual gardening, I feel like it's very natural as well, and it makes a lot of sense with this real home that I'm building. I also wish that we had normal like white square tiles, because I really wanted to use the white square tiles, but we don't really have them, so I had to go with the marble, which is also quite expensive, but I feel like it's worth it for the vibe that I wanted for this house. So I add that little window there. That's by the kitchen and the living area. I felt like that's a cute little detail. Back in the day, that's where you would like pass food through into the dining space, but my house is not laid out that way. So that's more for the mom to watch TV while she cooks. Or whatever parent is cooking. I don't wanna specify your game for you. Your sim. Whatever sim is cooking there, they can watch TV. Not for real, just for play though. The Sims won't really allow that. So I wanted this kitchen to feel full and kind of cluttered as well, but not too busy. So I went with this brown color with like the white countertops, and then I just give them a mixture between beige and white tiles. Yeah, I decided to completely close the kitchen off. I feel like it benefits this way. It matches the house a little bit better. And I really wanted a fireplace, but I also didn't want the fireplace to be straight in the middle, because I wanted this built-in cabinet. Now, I imagine that the people that did the cabinets for the kitchen, the previous owners or something, was like, okay, just build us a TV cabinet. Now, it's quite small, so an old TV can fit in there. Like I said, like I feel like this family, they get by, but they don't have like all the money. So, you know, they have like this cute little TV, and I really like the way that the cats and dogs couches looked in this space. I painted this place blue just to liven it up a bit, and then I just go around and I just add some stools and some tables and like a lamp. Now, at the back of this, I was like, okay, this place is gonna have chaotic children. But I feel like the parents do have them under control. So they like gave them certain designated spaces. They're like, okay, you can play behind the couch. So here's all your toys. And then obviously in their bedrooms as well. So this space here looks very messy and cluttered and all kinds of things. But the rest of the house, you will see it's quite neater. Even though it is very lived in, it's not full of toys and things. Now, I really wanted, with the carpet, I really wanted like one of those carpets where the cars are and you could like, you know, like a road, and then there's like homes and things like that. But we don't have that in The Sims, so this was the closest. So just use your imagination. That's like a carpet that the children can use, and they can like drive their toys and play on that. And then I just added some dining chairs all over. This is a tea party that one of the children is having. So I placed like a tea set and a cat on a stool. And those two dining chairs, they like for if they have guests and they maybe want to move it into that space. But it's a bit cluttered to have it there at all times. Now, I am not necessarily the biggest fan of all of the decorating in this place. Like, some of the paintings I feel like is questionable, but and especially that flower decoration, but I felt like it matched this house and this family. So I kind of pushed myself to use things that I don't usually use. Now I go back into the kitchen and I just clutter it up a bit because it was a bit empty, so I don't do a lot. The kitchen is very small and I didn't want it to feel overwhelming. So yeah, I added that little gameplay mechanism from Parenthood where you can like set the schedules and things, so there's that as well. And here I'm just going around and I'm just placing my beds, deciding what kind of color scheme beforehand I kind of want to go for them. And yeah, I remember that we have a door that matches the door that I am using in my house, but there's like drawings behind it. And it's in base games. I was like, okay, I'm going to use this instead. This, these kids are creative, especially the one child. So I feel like they probably drew on both of their doors, and I don't know, I really like that. And because we are reaching like the festive season, I added the festive type of tent, the one with all of the Christmas thingies on it. And just as a little nudge towards we are reaching that season. Now I'm just going around and I'm just adding some extra decorations. I decided to add like a pop of red in this bedroom. It kind of needed it. I felt like it needed something more dramatic, and also there's like red in the curtains, so I kind of felt like that worked. Now this chart, this is the more artistic one that I mentioned. And I feel like they're going through some stages in their life. So you will see that there's like a lot of darker things there. They also they are also very active, I feel. So they've won like awards and trophies and I don't know, like kind of athletic. That's kind of how I was. So even though I didn't win any awards, but still. Now, here I'm just going around and I'm just kind of cluttering the room up. I'm adding like a bag, and I didn't want to add like all the high school year clothes and things like that on the floor because I do feel like they are still of a certain age, so they're going to be messy, but they're not going to be that messy. They'll still listen to their parents when their parents tell them to clean up their room. Now here's the parents' bedroom. I went with like this light blue and kind of the same type of wood tone that's throughout the entire house. And I also liked placing these railings kind of on top of all of my curtains and make that feel cohesive. I quite like that. I like the fact that it's like one big wooden railing. I feel like that could be dated if you use it wrong. So yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I was going for. And yeah, I'm also just cluttering up the parents' bedside table with just some random things. I gave one of the parents like a tablet or like a drawing thing. I can't remember what that is, but I feel like that's also kind of, realistic. And in the bathroom, I added laundry. This bathroom was quite large, so it really lended itself towards that. I gave them 2 sinks and like a beautiful cabinet set and this window. I really love the way that it actually worked out. When I first placed the bathtub in here, I was like, oh my word, this bathroom is massive. And I was scared that it is going to feel empty, but in the end it actually really didn't. Now this is the parents' bathroom. I kind of sectioned it out a bit, so I added like a double shower for them. I don't add a bathtub in here, but I do add the sliding doors, so I kind of like it that it's like closed off with the sliding doors. I wanted to use half walls, but I was like, no, I've used enough half walls. Let's just close this thing up completely. It might not be that safe. It's probably like a steamer, but that's fine. Now we are going into the garage. Now the garage is very neat. It's very pristine. It's very white. I wanted to use lockers, but then I didn't. I also wanted like a countertop. So I decided to just go with like a kitchen set. I sectioned the garage off, like kind of in the middle, with the candle making thing. I give them the juice making machine. I give them the woodworking table, and this slap together like exercise machine. I also put the Christmas tree here, again, a notch towards we are reaching that season, but it's in the garage because it's not yet there yet, so it still needs to be set up. Now we're going outside, finally, and I realize, okay, no, this place is massive, and I then just shrunk it down a bit. At this point, I actually forgot to move the roof, and I only did that after my speed build. I can't believe that I forgot that. But yeah, I forgot to change the roof. Now, yeah, I'm just adding some seating space. I kind of like that it was all at like weird angles. It just made it look a little bit more lived in. And then I just go around and I just add some random plants. And like this fishing hanging net thing on the wall. Now, some of you might think that that is weird, but it isn't. We are in LA, they're close to a beach. So that was my my thing. And I was quite happy. For the first time ever, I was able to use the little campus kit. And I was very excited. This backyard just lended itself to it because these parents have like all these children. I really wanted to use it. And I was very excited. So I'm just going around and I'm just placing some pillows and I'm trying to make it look like natural, like it was just thrown there. And I feel like I got that across. I really like that seating space. And thankfully all of them like point towards there. I also add a picnic basket and then just some monkey bars. And now we're going to the pool area. I wanted to use those two chairs, but I do delete the one and I add a swimming towel. I think that kind of also just adds itself there. And then just some plants at the end of the pool. I didn't want to go overboard with like plants in, you know, like outside and things because these parents are busy. I mean, they've got 3 kids. I don't know if you saw, but I added a toddler bed in the parents' bedroom. I wanted that. I wanted the toddler to stay in there. I've known so many people growing up who, like my friends, and then they have like small kids, and then the toddlers stay in the parents' room. I don't personally condole it, but I did have children, so I don't really have a say. And I just felt like that was also, I don't know, something that does happen, so I kind of wanted to give that across. Now I'm just going around and I'm just adding some plants. I wanted this to be quite neat as well and very spread apart. And yeah, very formal, but yeah, I think you get the idea of what I wanted to go with the garden. I don't really know how to explain this garden perfectly, but I do go back later on and I do actually add a lot of like statues. Here we go now. So I felt like this owner, they have statues in their garden. Now we are reaching the end of this build, so I'm just quickly gonna jump in and I'm gonna show you around all of the things that I did like off camera, like the hallway and the entrance. So let's quickly do that. Okay, here we are back in the game, and it's very cloudy today here in Dalsall Valley. But as you can see, I added a mailbox here. On the side, I just went around and I added like the outside trash can. And then just some graffiti. You will see that in the world itself, there is some graffiti, so it's not out of place. And then on this wall as well, just, I feel like the family used to cover it up, but not anymore. Now, here you can see the sandpit that I added for the children. They will be able to play in this, so it is completely functional as like a gameplay mechanic as well, which is pretty cool. And then the closed off pool. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is quite common here where I stay. Like you actually kind of have to have your pool closed off. It's actually illegal if you don't. There are people obviously that don't do it if they have children, but yeah, you are actually supposed to close it off. And here is just this little campus set. I think this is so cute. I would love to watch movies here. Like, honestly, I think that would be so great. Now, let's just quickly go inside. So, this is where the dog will stay, because this family does have an animal. I just added a lot of portraits. Just this little side table thing here. And then, as you can see, just some more curtains. And then just some more portraits. This little landing here has just like some formal plates and like a seating spot. This does look quite cute from this angle. And then just the entrance. I went with like the stool with the yellow pillow because this kind of had the yellow on the inside of it. And I really wanted to use this one. All of the others didn't really make any sense. And yeah, so it's very cute. It's very basic. And then our garage. I love the garage. I love all the gameplay mechanics that's just in this area itself. And yeah, I love playing with like the candle making. I like the fact that the candles can like go away. Sorry, like wean. I don't know. I forgot the word in English. I'm not English. Now, here is the parents' bedroom. Here's the toddler bed. So yeah, there is a lot of space here to expand. I mean, you can easily expand and just close this area here as well once the toddler becomes a little bit older. Or you can always give one of the children just a bunk bed. There are a lot of options. Now, then lastly, just our TV and entrance. This is my favorite, like, room in this build. I feel like this looks so lived in. This is a dollhouse, so yeah, just for if you were wondering. It's not really placed with all of the other doll houses. This is in like activities in the kids' bedroom, so I don't really know why. But thank you so much if you stayed the entirety of this video. I really hope you liked this speed build. This house will be on the gallery, so you will be able to download it. My handle is SimmerRue on there as well. And then I hope to see you all again. Goodbye.